Okay, I have to shout this with my ears plugged and the sound machine on. The mufflers are like nowhere I've ever been in my life. It certainly is like an auto show, without any doubt. And there certainly has to have been other people in this city who witnessed what I did as well while we were here in DC before the hot war. So I'm just going to wait. Okay, but right now I can't talk about the terror cell I'm in. I can't talk about anything that's happening outside of my windows other than like the stark and obvious mufflers, sirens, semi-tractor trucks, 8-wheel vehicles, 6-wheel vehicles, tractor trailers, just unfucking believable. Like, this was incredible what they actually did to DC just with that aspect alone in order to take over our sovereign territory. This is why I know there's got to have been good people in the city. Some of them. I know some of them were black. I know that too. So I do know that. So okay, I will just wait. There's black people here are persecuted as hell in the U.S. right now, and they're not just in the military. They're just regular civilians, and I'm doing everything I can to help them through this. And then the Latin people that are not trying to bring on a white nationalist dictatorship. There's the Latin people fall with the same category as the Caucasian white people in the U.S., where they were just unbelievably hand in hand with the Caucasian whites, with just outright violently attacking our sovereign territory, violently attacking our constitution and our country. It's our sovereign territory, physically, violently attacking it. And its people, just attacking the people. They were hand in hand with them, like amigos, mucho amigos, but very evil, very, very, very big evil people. So the African Americans, yeah, they fell into that bracket in the United States. Yeah, we all know that. But there were so many African American citizens, civilians, who didn't. And this is where my focus is. It's because I'm from here and it's my country's people. This is where my focus is. Do you know how many hundreds and hundreds of years this race, ethnicity of people has fought to survive every single day in a country? And then to have that country in 2024 tell black women they might as well go live in other countries and produce the most heinous propaganda and articles and push and publish it like they're on hyperdrive, publish it like 1,000,000 times a day so the whole world fucking reads it. They're just telling them, if you're not going to stay here to be one of our hookers and our whores, because that's what we're going to do to you. We're going to whore you, especially you, black woman. We're going to whore you. We're going to kill all your men. And if you're not interested in doing that, then you better just leave the country. And they had plans to go everywhere, okay? There's a mass ethnic cleansing that they've dreamed to do. They're never going to do it. And I'm not allowed to talk about that. I'm not allowed to talk about anything that's happening outside my windows in the house that I'm in, which is a terror cell, a major historic terrorist compound that I am in. I'm not allowed to talk about anything, and I'm like, what do you want me to say, God? Why are you insisting to go online? And so then my mind just falls to good people, and it falls to the black people in my country. It really does. And I knew this since I was a kid. I knew all this stuff. I knew about Iran nuking the United States when I was 17 or 18. I knew a lot of really amazing things. I had a really strong connection with black people, even though I never really talked to a lot of people. Never got married. You can't see a strong connection except in my emotions and my mind. Yeah, in the words I speak, but that's good enough. I mean, I was always alone, so where's the strong connection? Where's your friends? Who's this? Who's that? I don't have that to produce for you. But you can see by my actions that this is a pretty strong connection I have to these people who are my fellow brothers and sisters in the United States, and I actually really like them. I really like African Americans. And then right after them is the Latina immigrants. And God's been telling me that for multiple years. They're really, really getting pulverized in the United States. Just pulverized. The white dictatorship will never happen. But they were pulverized like me the whole time that these individuals in our country were trying to do it, trying to attack the Constitution, violently attack the sovereign territory, and violently attack our fellow citizens. That's all they do. Lock me in terror cells, chop up bodies in here, attack all the black and brown, just violently attack them. And they gave the Asians a lot of attacks too, but the prolonged, solid focus was on the Hispanic. I mean, like, we're gonna get you, we hate you, we're drooling how much we hate you, we drool. As the KKK that was trying to take dictatorship here, and the black Americans were just fucking pulverized every day for at least 8 years. At least 8 years. Because it started happening a couple years before I became aware of it. Now, I voted for Trump because Hillary Clinton, and we know why I didn't vote for Hillary Clinton. I didn't know at the time that her husband had signed a pact with Saudi Arabia. I didn't know. But I knew by what she was saying and bringing on all these individuals who were behind shootings of police officers, and they were starting to really attack the I only have a certain word, so I'm going to use the word attack, and I'm going to use words over and over again, and I'm going to accidentally say the alphabetical letter I, because I'm really fucking injured. I'm sitting in the terrace cell with my ears plugged, yelling over a sound machine still. This is not what I really wanted to do, was just start chatting on the internet. I wanted to report or do something with some sort of logic, but I'm not allowed. But they started getting pulverized at least a couple of years before I became aware of it. I was in some respects your average white voter. I did not want Trump in office. No, I didn't, and I could love to share this why I didn't. It's like many of you, I didn't want Hillary Clinton in office. I was more freaked out by that, freaked out in a big, massive way, big upset, big upset. She could not take power. It was from God above. She could not take power. I know when God's speaking to me. I know when we're on the verge of catastrophe. It would have been her. It would have been Bill Clinton in Saudi Arabia that very fucking day she was inaugurated. So it was really beautiful that God had his hand in this, and that he brought the Russian dumbfucks, the Russian mob, so into our country. Because the KKK ate it right up. They ate it right up, all the Russian mafioso. Now all they do 7 years later is talk about mob wives, and they want that. Like, this is our new world. Like, dude, you're gonna last like 10 years as a society, like right you're going, dude, on all this crystal meth, and your psychos running around, and your mob wives. Oh boy, yep, oh boy. And all your cannibalism, like, okay, like, look, no, it's never going to happen, okay? Everybody calm down about this, all right? About white dictatorships and shit. It's not going to happen. But I can't talk about any of it. What I'm just supposed to say is that all my life, and since I've been, locked in a terror cell and just pulverized myself, I've realized who else is getting a beating, and it's the Latin and the African Americans, and I saw it for myself when they dragged me off and tried to institutionalize me. I saw it for myself. How fucking scared my civilians in my United States are right now. And I never got to talk about my spiritual experience, not even yet, but I'll never forget it. I just wanted to make sure things were okay, and I can't talk about what I'm saying when I say things are okay. I can't even fucking talk about it. And then I just wanted to sit here and not sit here. I wanted to sit there and watch and just be completely conscious and grounded and present, like present for the moment of my spiritual experience. And I did it. And that's why I'll never forget it. And I can just share with anyone anytime they like that spiritual experience I had that morning. At MedStar in the East Wing on floor 2. And how scared I saw my fellow Americans. and they were African American, and they're being absolutely persecuted, and they have to hold jobs. And I keep talking about this, how freaking horrifying it is for any sort of targeted ethnic group right before a planned ethnic cleansing. I saw it happen to my people here, and I praise God that it didn't happen. But there's no way I can talk to them about what's happening here. There's no way I can talk to them about anything, dude. If they're hearing this, I just have to talk about spirituality, and I just can't talk about anything, okay? Talk about my ears being plugged. I can talk about the mufflers. So back to my opening, my monologue with my opening. So it's like nowhere I've ever been, with the mufflers, and they really tried. They really tried, and while they were raging with their mufflers and doing many other things that I just can't talk about, folks, on this video, really horrifying things, and persecuting Black and brown people, it didn't happen. It just isn't going to happen. So I am going to go ahead and try to switch gears, because my monologue got messed up. My opening intro monologue, because I kind of forgot what I was talking about. My ears are plugged, and I'm shouting over a sound machine, and I can't talk about why. I just can't talk about anything. But I would do a face, but I just can't. I am not doing another face with my ears plugged, and this is really despicable shit. I'm not. I have some self-respect, and I just want to say I'm taking economics. Thank you, God, for that clarity, because in the darkest moment of my life, which was this whole 4 years, oh yeah, it was the darkest, scariest, worst moments of my life, he said something so profound to me, man. And so don't worry, everybody, I'm going to do that. You can just guarantee it. He told me exactly when. He said, once I'm rested, just start taking the classes at home. You'll get it going on. Take Econ 1, Econ 2, and then once you take those, you're going to understand why you're taking more Econ and what you're taking, because you really don't know it. And this is exactly why I want you to take it, he says. Because you got to talk to people, and you need to know. I mean, you have no idea what you're talking about, and you really need to. And it's the truth. So just get back in school. If you're going to go to school, go to something you're going to use there. Because I love school. Jesus knew that. I could just go to school forever, and there's nothing wrong with that. College is amazing. Learning is amazing. Academia is the best thing ever. I love academia, but if you're going to go to college, you're going to do this. It's like a job, dude. It's stressful. It's a job. Then take something you're going to use. Don't go back until you do. And it's economics. So I'm going to hook up with a professor or something online, and I'm going to do it. And then by the end of Econ 102, I will know what I'm talking about. And so excited. So excited. And then I'll know what exactly coming next on the road, because there's a lot more econ I'm supposed to take. But this is to be able to talk to people who are experts and authorities in the field. And it's not a lot of business I'm taking, but I'll be able to talk to business majors, masters, so on and so forth. I'll be certainly able to talk to all the econ folks. And that's what I need to do. It's not that I need to take the lead here. No, I couldn't possibly. These people they're older than me. Some of them are years and years older than me. And you get my picture. I mean, they're my teachers, but I got to know what they're saying. So I'm really excited. He told me that. We're beyond the 14-minute marker. I'll have to do a YouTube. But it's been blood, sweat, and tears. And if you knew what I went through today, you'd be like, I can't believe she's talking so upbeat. But that's what I mean, because in the darkest, most wicked, evil, I had the most intense spiritual experiences. One of them was around those fucking Muslim terrorists in our hospital. I had a fucking spiritual experience. Like, you cannot kill God. No, I know you can't, dude. You cannot. And you can't kill black people. Listen, I have bad choice of words, but I'm going to end it with this. For hundreds and hundreds of years, black people in the United States have just gone through this, where they have to go through time eras where they're just every day they're being persecuted and chased with burning crosses, and it's so fucking terrifying for them. Then it gets better, and then it's all bad again, and now here we are, 2024. It's the worst it's ever been because it's the fucking U.S. military coming after them. Now we're looking at World War III, Schindler's List, that Hollywood movie Schindler's List and shit, where they're going to take the blacks and put them into areas and just wipe them out. That's what the military had intended, and I'm not allowed to talk about any of this, so I just can't do it, folks. But it didn't happen, and I saw this happening to my fellow brothers and sisters, okay? And those were the black people and the brown people here. We have many wonderful, amazing white people here as well. It's not just these people that I think about, but when you're dealing with armed KKK, you're going to think about who their targets are. Anybody's going to think, wow, this has got to be so scary for those people they're chasing with burning crosses down the street. And yeah, I definitely will never forget this. And they just survived. I want the rest of the world to really look at our history. The African Americans were here through the whole thing. And they stayed. They didn't go into reservations. They weren't given that. And the reservations were basically insult to injury. I know that. I'm trying to be very careful with my words. But they stayed in the cities, and they stayed trapped on slave plantations. And the history of African Americans here is incredible as a race, ethnicity, biblically, of people. Because when you're getting into an entire millennia of slavery, you're talking shit in the Bible. That's the stuff that's in the Bible. And when that slavery is finally over, you're talking biblical events, and that's what we're looking at here. That's what's happening, and I hope I can say that, Jesus. So, yeah, I mean, America's going to be good old America. I don't think I can talk about any of this. But it's just you won't have that enforced KKK slavery anymore. We had to do a lot of big things to change that. I'm only allowed to talk about how I'm taking economics, how no matter how dark and scary it's been, I had spiritual experiences. I have a lot of hope. And I just want the rest of the world to look at the history of African Americans and Native Americans here, but look at the history of black people here. And just remember what I said, there's a huge amount, it's like almost half and half of our population who's U.S. born, civilian, Native African Americans who never signed up and decided to go along with Kanye West. I know he fills up stadiums, but there's so many African Americans who aren't involved with gangs. They don't want anything to do with all this crime, being told they have to be a criminal to be black, they have to be gangster to be black, they have to be mafia to be black, they can't be a doctor, they can't be a professional sports player because they're really strong, some of them. They have to become a mafia man in order to be in the NFL. Like, when did that happen? Because your lovely Russian mafia had that happen. They took over all of our industries. And they told the blacks, you want to do this, then you better be a criminal because that's all you are, and we're going to whore your wife. And you better be okay with that because that's how we see black women. It is so fucking horrifying what they did to black women in the last 7 years. I watched it happen. And they like to leave evidence in the trail of evidence. And a lot of the trail of evidence the KKK did was all the lovely newspaper articles and videos and stuff where they were talking their little heads up and putting all the little black prostitutes on the TV. I have been sitting in this terrace up for 4 years in horror for black women in America who said, no, I'm not a whore. You're not going to whore me or kill my husband. I would love to talk to these black people. We're up to 20 minutes. I really want to cut it. But I'm going to unplug my ears. I want the rest of the world to think about these people and what they have overcome. Okay, in order to see a new country. And they made it, and you're not going to be attacked by the creeping military. But I'm not allowed to talk about it. Goodbye.